Good morning, guys. The king is back. How we doing this morning? We're gonna be taking a look at a video on this Tyre Nichols killing, in which 5 black officers beat this man for over 3 minutes straight, and then he eventually died a couple of days later in the hospital. So yeah, what I want to see is, number one, if Black Lives Matter, come out in the media the same way they do if a white man, like a white cop, did the same thing, right? Because it should be equal, right? But all these officers were black. So I want to see if the response is the same when they release the video later on today. But we're gonna take a look at let me see here, what CNN has to say about this right now. But already there's not as much response as there normally would be if it was 5 white cops that did this, right? I guess they already fired all the cops, and apparently 2 of them are already pleading not guilty. But I want to wait for the tape to come out to make my judgment on that and see if like 2 of them didn't really do anything. But I don't know. This sounds pretty brutal. I mean, the guy apparently was defenseless, laying on the ground, had no weapon, and they just kept beating him for over 3 minutes, and then he died, which is ridiculous and a travesty. But if you're gonna riot and do all that shit, just when white cops do it, then don't Black Lives Matter no matter who's doing it, right? So it shouldn't matter if it's a white cop or a black cop, right? It should just matter that a black man was killed, right? That's what I'm trying to say. There shouldn't be a double standard, right? It should be the same for everybody. That's my opinion, and I'm allowed to have it. And remember, subscribing is free, and it's easy. Don't be a clown. And let's get to the video.
Minucci, he's one of the attorneys representing Tyre Nichols' family. Mr. Romanucci, thanks so much for being with us. I'm sorry it is under these circumstances. How is Mr. Nichols' family doing now that the officers have been indicted?
Well, clearly they wanted the absolute utmost charges, and I think with what we see today, they're going to get that. John, I don't know the last time, if ever, I've seen a uniformed police officer under the color of law being charged with kidnapping. We have to take that in and
wow, they're being charged with kidnapping as well? This video must really be something, But I am surprised on why, because I turned on my TV this morning, and if this was white cops, this would be, on every station, non-stop, and they would not stop playing it, right? That's not happening right here, right now.
Really soak that for a moment and understand the gravity of what happened here to Tyre.
Why does that have particular gravity?
And real quick, again, because I live in Baltimore, where the young man was killed and they rioted because it was the white cops that did it. That's why I keep saying this. But there's nothing going on right now, and I don't hear any backlash. I'm assuming it's because it was black cops. But let's wait until the video comes out and then see what happens. Let's see if all all those pastors come out. What's his name? Al Sharpton. Let's see if he comes out, right, like he always does when the white cops do something to somebody. He should come out, no matter the race, religion, anything. If something happens to a black person or African American, whatever term you want to use, you know, it should be the same no matter who does it to them.
The kidnapping charge.
Well, I've been thinking of all different ways to describe what happened on that video since it hasn't been released yet. And here's another way for me to describe it, which may give you some context. It was an MMA fight, except there was only one side that was MMA. Tyre was helpless, he was defenseless, he was restrained. And that's why you're seeing the types of charges that you're seeing here, from second-degree murder to obstruction to aggravated assault to kidnapping, because he was literally, his freedom was taken away from him because he didn't do anything wrong.
Okay, well, real quick. They always say that these guys that get beaten up and killed never did anything wrong, and that's definitely not true. Like in the case of George Floyd, he was passing fake money, he was doing drugs, he was doing stuff wrong, okay? I mean, that definitely doesn't mean he should be killed and have someone put his knee on his neck for over 5 minutes and shit like that. But what I'm saying is, in a lot of these cases, there's a reason the police are there in the first place, right?
The proportionality of what happened here was so askew that it only warranted the highest level of charges.
You just said it was like a one-sided MMA fight. You've also described it as Mr. Nichols being treated like a human piñata. Those were your words. Do you think Memphis, the community there, is prepared to see this video, which you have seen?
They're going to have to be prepared, John, and I think one way to prepare them is for us to be able to describe it so that hopefully when they do see it, especially along with the charges, that there is peace. That is the goal. Should their voices be heard? Absolutely. There's no doubt about that. But should there be anything but peace in the streets? Correct.
Yeah, I think there should be peace, but there should have been peace when, all these other stuff happened, right? There should have never been any rioting or anything. But people like to make this crap all about race, when, in my opinion, it's not about race. It's just untrained officers, doing their thing. If it was about race, why did these 5 black officers do it to a black man? Doesn't make any fucking sense, right?
That's what we're looking for.
What do you know about the traffic stop that took place that led up to this? Do you even know why he was stopped?
No, we really don't, and that's not anything that I'm saying that's been withheld from us, but we don't.
Yeah, there had to be a reason why he was stopped by the police in the first place. Okay, they don't just... 5 officers don't just stop somebody for no reason, right?
Don't know yet. We know that the police have said that this was a traffic stop, but we don't know more than that. And quite frankly, I have to tell you right now, I don't know that it's just a justification.
But there is no justification for beating someone who's defenseless for over 3 minutes. I don't care what he did, right? Unless he shot at an officer, which they're saying he didn't have a gun or a weapon, right? So if none of their lives were in danger, then there is no justification. But like I said, let's wait for the video.
We're saying it was a traffic stop because we know that these saturation and suppression units do use a pretext to stop in order to carry out this wolf gang-like mentality, this wolf pack mentality of policing.
You have no specific knowledge that that's what happened here. You're suggesting, though, it's a possibility.
It's only a possibility.
Yeah, but usually, why would they do it to a person of their same race, right? That doesn't make any sense.
That's correct.
I understand the preliminary results of an autopsy commissioned by you and attorney Ben Crump and the family. Those results are in. What do you know at this point about those results?
So here's what I can tell you about those results. The results indicate
extensive bleeding caused by a severe beating. This video, it might be really, really bad. I mean, when I was driving this morning, they were comparing it to the Rodney King video, which if you haven't seen that yet, I'm sure most of you have seen that. That's pretty sickening to watch, right? If it's anything like that, there's going to be a riot. I mean, in my opinion.
That what we saw in the video are consistent with a severe beating. And our independent medical examiner has authorized us to quote that. The injuries are consistent with a severe beating, meaning that the hemorrhage that was found was so deep that it could only be caused by blunt force trauma.
Wow. But I guess here they could just blame it on the cops in general instead of race, right? They could just say all the cops are against African Americans or the blacks, whatever term you want to use, instead of whites versus blacks. They could just say it's cops, right? Who knows?
Which again is consistent with a severe beating.
I know you've got a lot on your plate, as does the family, but
if they've already been fired, that tells me that the supervisors and the chiefs that have already seen this video know that this is going to be a bad thing when it comes out, and they're covering their ass, and they're getting it, and they got those guys out before the video comes out, so that way they don't lose their jobs because they know there's going to be backlash coming. That's what I think. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, but I think if they've already fired these guys, all 5 of them, then the people who make those decisions to fire them have seen the video and they know it's not good.
Lastly, does the family at this point intend to sue the city of Memphis?
Of course they're going to sue. They're going to try and get as much money as possible. I mean, who wouldn't? They killed a member of their family, right?
Well, I think a lawsuit is clearly on the horizon. I'm not going to tell you when that's going to happen. We have to complete our investigation, and I'm hoping that the productive meeting that we had with the FBI, the DOJ, and the Shelby County State's Attorney, that we've all committed to ourselves that we're going to cooperate with each other, that continues, because we all have a job to do here, and that is to get justice for Tyre.
Yeah, I guess, yeah. He deserves justice. He didn't deserve to have his life taken away from him. I'm glad these cops have been fired. And I'm going to be covering this case. So, from the beginning right now to the end. So, hit that subscribe button and keep watching. Subscribing's free. Don't be a clown. True Crime King, out.